Yes, people, welcome to NAF. If you ain't been there before, then first and foremost, hopefully you got some New Year's resolutions, New Year goals, because they're important, to be fair. You know, if you set your mind to something, you might achieve it this year or actually progress in something. That's the most positive thing you're going to get out of me all year. I'm trying to be a little bit different.
The music. Because that's the first time I've heard a cast be positive about everything. Usually he's telling everyone to work hard or get fucked.
Basically, but yeah, man, happy New Year's to everyone. Because obviously I ain't spoke to you two, so you can get that live from me. This is cringy as shit. Anyways, Monster's gonna be here. Cal's gonna be in literally a second, and then also Jay, and we could talk about the games of the weekend. You know what's fun? You know, there's quite a few fixtures where you think, ooh, could be an upset here. You know, you got Man United versus Liverpool. It could be a surprise. We don't, but we all doubt it. Let's be real. You know, Spurs under pressure for Newcastle at the Lane. The Lane's not as much as a fortress as it was, in my opinion. People just collecting points. Chelsea away to Palace could be 3 in a row for Chelsea. You never know. Palace are due a win. They're due a result. And then obviously you got Brighton versus Arsenal, which is known to be Arsenal's bogey team pretty much. But Arsenal done quite well against them of recent. So, but we can talk about that. And then, funny enough, Man City's got a life. They might actually get 2 in a row. They got West Ham this weekend. West Ham's got no Bowen, and their manager is a piece of shit. So, I expect Haaland to get a couple goals. But yeah, what are you man saying? On timers.
Good man. Good. I can't lie. Looking forward to a weekend where I could potentially pick up some more points. You know, as we said, I've got more points than you last weekend, so I'm not the worst on the panel. I'm staying to not be the worst. I'm just surviving, like just above the relegation right now. That's all I'm doing. So it's all right. Things are all right.
We say, Matt.
Can't complain, innit? My team are doing all right, innit? So, but listen, Brighton tricky game, so I'm not getting too far ahead of myself, man.
You rate Brighton? Like, do you not rate Brighton as much as what you used to at all? Like, just a genuine question.
I don't think they're as dangerous as before, but they've got some nifty technical players. I think Spurs saw that as well. Like, you look at Beleba, Pedro, like they've got these names that were doing well in European football, innit? They just needed like a platform to kind of showcase it. But I feel next season we'll see the best of them. This one, they're going to have up and down results like they've been having.
Yeah, I think the players get nicked regardless. I think
they're building something under that young manager. I feel like they're really good. I feel like what I've seen from them is that manager shows tactical changes similar to Amri. Like, you see him in game doing quick changes, making a substitution, and they play not completely differently, but they approach the game different, and the tactical tweaks are good. And he's a good manager, tricky against the top teams. We saw what happened to us, saw what happened against Man City as well. I think it's going to be a hard game for Arsenal, but we saw what happened against
Do you know the last 5 results? 4 draws and a loss.
That's what I mean. Arsenal do tend to drop points.
You remember Brighton were top 4 at one point. They're 10th now. They're just below. You're just literally, what are you? You're 3 points behind them, George.
Be a big change. Hopefully,
Man United are 5 points behind them, which we don't expect to change anytime soon. Which we can talk about right now, innit? Man United versus Liverpool.
oh boy.
Yeah. Matt's favorite subject, clearly.
Now, do you know what? To be fair, I don't know. I think George might be the same, but if my team don't win, I don't really get to enjoy them games. Like, it's only when your team win, you can sit back, get your popcorn out, chill. I like me at Kaz all game. You know what I mean? But listen, it's one of them. I don't think anyone here sees Man United beating Liverpool. However, I don't think it's going to be that everyone's thinking 7-0. I can't see that. I think Amarim's going to be like, guys, you're not... Same in the City game. No one expected Man United to beat Man City. No one did. So I think this is a game where United may turn up. I think they'll still
I called it 2-1.
Nah, the difference is with the Man City game.
Our predictions are wrong, but that one was just right.
We have to be honest, though. Everyone was getting a result against City. Not everyone was getting a result against Liverpool. So this game, I agree with you. I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think, because I think the way that Amarim's going to approach this game is, I don't want to concede that many goals. I don't want an embarrassing result. He probably knows, looking at this team and how they've played in the most recent games, it's going to be a tough game to win. So he's probably going to set it up where they get really defensively narrow and try to concede as less chances as possible and concede as least goals, because they saw what happened to us as well. When you open up against Liverpool and you don't have the defensive structure to do it, they're going to blitz you. They're going to score goals. I don't think Amorim wants that embarrassment, because 5 losses and 6 at the moment. Imagine starting this, getting a 5-0 whipping. There's going to be questions of his job. And that's crazy, because I don't think he can, but you're going to have to, because 6 losses in 7. I mean, managers have been sacked for that in the past. That's a crazy run of form, and he should have won some of these games and got points in some of them. But
I look at
the players. I would agree to look at the players.
It'd be like
I agree.
You're in the whole like, you don't look at it as Andy's fault for more time. Sometimes you just look at the squad and say, this is just dead. That's the way I look at it with Man United. Like I don't look at Amorim. Don't get me wrong. I think it's fair to question some of his selections, which is obviously because all Man United's got is, I suppose, personnel. Like, it depends what personnel you got on the pitch that makes it balanced, right? But some of them, like Bournemouth, that lineup, and the one recently against Newcastle, I question that, thinking like, bro, I get it. You want to rotate. United's not fit. Like, our fitness levels are not the same as Liverpool's, for instance, or even Tottenham's, for instance. I get it, but you can't just keep rotating everyone all the time. I know it's I know maybe it's because he's not used to playing every 3 days and he thinks he has to, but you don't need to. Sometimes, bro, if Bruno ends up breaking his back, I swear to God, I wouldn't give a shit. Like, just like, do you know what I mean? Like Rashford, ran him into the ground. I care about that one, but people like Bruno and that, just let them do what they love doing, running around like a headless chicken. And if they get knackered, so be it. He's regressing anyways. Like, you got to keep. I think you got to work out a good 11 and then do what Slot does, like a little bit, because Slot does this thing where he don't change everyone, but he still keeps the certain players that he likes on. He might rotate McAllister, or he might rotate the left wing, or he might change the way he wants to play with a striker. But at that notice, he's still got the same back 4 pretty much. And you always got Gravenberch on the pitch. I don't see them moaning about playing every 3 days. They're just playing, and then they get subbed off in the 60th, 69th minute because they've done their job, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think though, like I think Jules already said as well. Yeah, United can stink out a result. And I think, let's remember, you played Newcastle, you had no Ugarte, no Bruno, right? Now, my only thing with Amorim, yes, you've come in and you kind of, when the managers come in, they try different players, different positions, see who they can get rid of. But you're playing Newcastle. We all know what Newcastle are like, man. They're free midfield, Tonali, Jolinton, and who I can't remember. Is it Willock? I can't remember. Murphy, that's the one. Mate, they're just physical. Bruno. And you're playing Lisandro Martinez. Like,
no, it's not even that. Not even that. Casemiro and Eriksen pivot. When you saw that they were working against Ipswich, why would you use that again? And you rectified your mistake by putting on Mainu, and then it all went in our favor more. It's like, shock. I didn't clock that was going to happen. No. You got no Ugarte, and dare I say, you got no Bruno. Don't get me wrong. I like the fact that Bruno was in there. I just didn't like the fact that Ugarte was in there. But I could work out. Yeah, you put Mainu next to Casemiro, it's a bit more solid.
But you know the thing with Mainu, Kaz, is Mainu under Fergie wouldn't have been starting as many games. He's that type of young player. He should be coming in. You know, when Fergie used to put in a bloody youngster in, then eventually.
Yeah, but Amorim hasn't been using him as much as I thought he would. But I mean, and then obviously, you remember this one. You might remember Cal or George. In the summer, there was that Toby Collier. There was all that hype around him. People liked him. He's only just come back from injury. And I'm looking at him thinking, there's no way you look at Collier's physical aspects and as a young buck, and you look at Eriksen and say, what's to do be better? Christian Eriksen. The guy's got an Iron Man heart, bro. Like, do you know what I mean? He needs to power up. He can't get enough charge at half time. That's why he's always watched at half time. You know what I mean?
He's usually good when he comes on as a sub. I feel like you need to bring him on in games.
Yeah,
like I said, yeah.
Like a Jorginho, you bring him on when you're winning like 3, and you want to slow it down. Yeah. Slow it right down. But I don't know, man. What are you saying, Cal, anyways, man? Nice to
yeah, happy New Year, brothers. Happy New Year's, man.
Chilling, Cal just chilling.
Just feeling good, like
this smug look of it.
I know these Liverpool fans, they don't even want to say anything. They're just I see him.
All I think about when Cal when he comes on and he's smiling, all I think is like, holding his fours like I'm Ric Flair.
Yeah.
That's all I think about.
Yeah, I'm here for it, man. I actually disagree with a lot of Liverpool fans saying we're going to smash Man United, because I don't think you'll be as naive to come to Liverpool and try and play basketball, football. You'll sit defensively deep and you'll make it difficult for us. I've gone for a 3-1 to Liverpool. But even certain things like, for example, when teams play deep against us, we like to get wide and cross the ball in a lot.
You think you play deep?
No, you will against us. I'll be honest.
Trust me. Did you play deep against Arsenal?
No, I'll be honest with you. If you guys try and go
if you play Lisandro Martinez, Salah scored a hat trick.
If he might. If I'm just saying this, if you come to Anfield and you try and go toe to toe for Liverpool, it's going to be worse than 7. What? You can't be that naive. I
don't think you have. That's where I think against Liverpool, I don't think you should play the deep block or whatever, because not think Man United. I think United needs to play. You know what I saw with like Forest played the deep block against you, but you know what it was for me. It was, I think Fulham was a bit more different. Like they did drop deep, but they were more in a mid block at times, and that's when they got a lot more of their fun. Yeah, of course, that's fair enough, but even at the start of the game was more the mid block. I'd rather that against Liverpool, not a high line. That's just dumb. That's just stupid. Like, come on, man. Even Pep tried the high line stuff against you in that game. Look how that went. You play a low block, Salah will eventually get one of those shots like curling or Luis Diaz or even Gakpo these days. Like, do you know what I mean? So for me, it's one of those. If you sit deep, you're gonna concede the ball, and trust me, we will concede the corner and we will concede against Van Dijk.
You're kind of damn disagree if you know what I mean. If I'm Man United's manager, if I'm Amorim, I'm not trying to go toe to toe with Liverpool. It ain't gonna end well. Because you haven't got that firepower to go toe to toe with us. Like, we've got too much going the other way.
He's got to focus on saving face.
He's
there now, man. Like, when you look at their team, they haven't got no one that you look at and say, yeah, he's dangerous in front of goal. Bruno every now and then can be dangerous in front.
But you know that he's not the same, innit? You know, Bruno ain't the same.
Yeah, he's definitely not the same. But Ahmad, again, he's a young player. I don't feel like he's dangerous. I feel like he can create opportunities, but he's not. I'm not looking at him to be like, yeah, he's going to be the one to drag them up the pitch and create a big chance and score for them. I don't know if I see that in Ahmad. I think he can do that at times, but not consistently, and especially in a big game like this. Xerxes, we see what happened to him 30 minutes stinker and hook the other day. And But now, let's be honest, man. Højlund, we've seen enough of Højlund. We've watched him for 18 months now, and I think we can make the evaluation that he's just not good enough for Premier League football. He can be physical at times. He can score decent goals at times, but his hold-up play is not good enough. His on-the-ball play is just not good enough, and he doesn't put himself in the right positions enough of the times to score enough goals. So I'm just looking at your.
I would honestly not play Højlund. I personally wouldn't play Højlund. I've just had enough of watching him play football. 2, I'm still going to concede. Like, I think I saw Xerxes in the first game against Liverpool. Against you lot when under Ten Hag, and he got bullied by Van Dijk. Bullied, yeah. But
that's unfair though, Cass, because he was unlucky not to get a couple goals in that game.
Yeah, I remember. But for me, I remember the headers, innit? But for me, it's I look at this game and I think I'm playing him and play him in the false 9. Let him do the drop deep role. That's where I look at Xerxes. Let Ahmad. Like against Everton, let the 10s have a little bit more freedom that way, because you're dropping in deep. That's when I look at it thinking maybe, because my part for Liverpool where I see your weakness, which I've clocked, is if you can play the ball quick enough, which I have seen against even Arsenal, there's space in between that midfield and defense. But then you got to get past Van Dijk, let alone Alisson, let alone like Joe Gomez these days and whatnot. You got to target their flanks. That's the only way you get some freedom. And then you got to hope that you put something quite clinical in the box. Like got to be very precise. And then hope for your goals. Obviously, Xerxes, if he does false 9, it's like, who's in the box then? Because it does take him an age sometimes to get in that box. But if he arrives late, then you never know. So it's difficult to break down Liverpool. Because even your last game, it was against was it West Ham? West Ham, or even before that? Mate, the West Ham game. West Ham in the first half. Getting a bit of that joy sometimes when he did get into those areas. But in the end, how do you get past Van Dijk? You have to, like, Kudus hitting the post and stuff like that. It could be in a different game, maybe, but it was easy after that because Liverpool can keep up for 90 minutes. United, as soon as one goal goes in, it's like you expect the City thing to happen. That's not happening against Liverpool, man. Not at Anfield. We scored like one goal against them in like the last 5 games at Anfield. Do you know how insane that is? Garbage.
Your team just doesn't score goals though. Look, how many goals you scored this season? Look, it's 21. That's one goal more than Crystal Palace, and then you've got the lowest in the bottom half of the table, pretty much.
Scored 21 goals all season.
21 goals. 21 goals. They've literally got no. Yeah, the Palace. They've got one more than Palace, and then they're level. They've just got a bit more than Everton, a bit more than Ipswich. Leicester scored more than them, and Southampton hasn't scored more. That's how bad their attack is. That is how bad Man United's attack is. They don't score goals. Have you guys got? They've got a minus goal difference. They've got a minus goal.
I swear they always have it. They always have a minus goal difference.
How are they 20? They're going to be 20 games into the season on a minus goal difference. This is how bad Manchester United is. We need. Do you know what it is? Yeah. And Man United fans deserve everything that's coming their way. Because remember at the start of the season when they pleaded to us, their team was good. They said these players are good enough. These players will get us top 4. It doesn't matter. We don't forget Ten Hag. These players are good enough. And lo and behold, they're sitting here saying, get rid of half of the squad now. Half of the players aren't good enough.
Yeah, but I think two things can be kind of like right. Like Ten Hag wasn't good enough, and I said I don't think the squad is as bad as I think it was. It is. Like reality check, you know what? They really are. They really are that bad. Even if you like the ones that say, "Oh, it's formation." Some of them, I'm like, you lot play FIFA too much because in game formations change. Yeah. You still get to see how good a player is. I still see Garnacho play left wing, even though he's meant to be in a 10. Do you get what I mean? He still cheeks. Do you know what I mean? I see whoever else that might want to come on the field still cheeks. No, it's the same problems. No matter what, it's all Man United's whole part is for me. It's always going to be the same case. Balance. What every other team pretty much has is a bit of balance. Arsenal, balance yesterday. Look at that. Technical midfield. Liverpool, Chelsea, all got balance. City don't have balance at the moment. That's why they're crumbling, especially in the midfield area and whatnot. Man United don't have balance. Don't have enough legs or athleticism. Tottenham got balance, but Andrew's ways of playing is just killing them, clearly, as well. But then again, selection might be a thing too, because Van der Ven and that's not there. So again, they don't have that balance.
I don't think we have balance. I think we lack a lot.
The midfield, you definitely got midfield balance. I always look at balance through midfield.
We haven't got a defensive midfielder, man. That's what we're missing. Huge. That's been the biggest miss for us this season, as well as on the wings. I don't think we have wing balance right now with all the injuries we got. So, yeah, no, I think we lack balance, definitely.
You know, I think the main thing is as well, I feel like to do well in this league, you have to have a core goalkeeper, centre back, centre mid, striker. If you look at all the better teams, they've all got Liverpool.
That's football in general, though, man.
No, but but that's insane. You look at Liverpool, Alisson, Van Dijk, midfield, Gravenberch has been cooking, up top, Salah doing his thing. Arsenal, unlucky with injuries. Even Tottenham, when Tottenham have a fully fit team, that's why you beat teams, because you've got your Romero, Bentancur when he's on form, or Madders, up front Son, who's thinking out at the moment, but when he's on form, that's a quality team. So United is dross. Try and think about United's core.
No core.
You know what I mean? Like, Nana, who's their core at the centre back? Harry Maguire. And honestly, people will laugh here, but he's one of the best centre backs. No, I like Harry Maguire. I don't care what people say. And this type of game against Liverpool, you might have to play Harry. You might have to play.
I would play him. Yeah. I don't look at Maguire as an issue, but I think he's definitely not quality enough for me. But I look at it's like you got to get. I'm just dropping Lissandro, bro, because it's time and time after again. It's always the areas he's in where we could actually conceded goals. Like, what's the one? Bournemouth, his fault for one of those goals as well, and it was like simple. And actually, you could actually argue 2 of them, to be fair. You know, Newcastle, both of them,
poor, man.
Both of them. You go look at Arsenal. Go look who's defending. Some of them. You know what I mean? It's like in the end, Carragher has been proven right. Yeah. Height is a thing. Unless you're mad teched off with it, and you've got like giants around you. Do you know what I mean? You are gonna get.
We got told he was the butcher.
That's Ajax fans' fault for gassing us for giving them that nickname, because he's not, man. Like the thing is, in a low block, Lissandro might be good because low block, progressive pass at centre back, it looks good. But going further, like when you're trying to play more expansive,
converted to a fullback. At his size, he should be
inverted or something, isn't it? Inverted or something. Again,
can't he play midfield as well, though?
But think of it. Think of his mobility though, trying to get back and all that. I don't think I would want. I mean, he probably could. I wouldn't say no to try and putting him like next to Nagati. Like I wouldn't say no to it. But then I look at it thinking it's a bit slow in it. I know Nagati's got the legs, but is he going to be doing too much cover work for him because he can't get around and across the pitch quick enough to?
And then I don't think he's got new players that can progressively pass that good.
He can. He's amazing at doing it. But as a defender, don't get me wrong, passing's nice, but defend.
It's easy to pass, be a progressively pass when you're at the back of the pitch. You can see everything. When you're in the middle, it's a completely different game.
No, he does evade, man. Though he does evade, man. To be fair, even as little as he does evade, he's very good at it. I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I don't think Amram looks at him and thinks that's what I'm going to use. Yeah. But then again, he used Ericsson there.
He needs signings. Amram needs signings ASAP. I don't know if you guys have been linked to anyone, but I feel like for me, when I look at your team, if I feel like you need someone to play. Maybe not as you're not going to sign a 9, but if you can play someone to play that left forward or right forward role, because if you have Ahmad playing on the right, you need someone to play in that left forward. Definitely need a central midfielder and then a wing back. That's what you need, and then Amram can start to build the team around those players and mold the way he wants you guys to go forward. But
I look at United's outlets. It's not really the 9 as much. It's the wing back situation as well. I think it's quite clear to see. You don't have the lows comfortable enough going forward, not in the right areas, not explosive enough. Does one little step over and thinks he can beat everyone on the pitch. Can't cross a ball. Right hand side, it's like, don't get me wrong, I like Mazraoui, but I prefer him at centre back. I like him. I like him at right centre back, left centre back, and for me again, I like him more at left wing back. He looks a little bit. I don't know what it is. He just looks a bit more comfortable doing that. But again, it's like you need something else there. Flipping out. Are we going to unlock a character?
That's right. Starting off 2025 like you need to go on. I don't know why I'm so blacked out, but yeah, someone said it. Someone said it, didn't they? Someone said it. I feel like
I said it. You look like I'm about to unlock a character on PlayStation 2 or something. but yeah, no. What do you make of it, anyways? Carla, what you said 3-1 in it.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna go and just batter you guys. I think you will play a low block to a mid block. As I said, like the way we usually tend to break down teams is by getting wide and crossing the ball in. I think that plays into Maguire's hands, so I don't think we'll have as much joy there. So I think, barring you guys coming out and just being naive, you guys will make it difficult for us. But I just think we have enough going forward to give us the win. But I don't expect a 7 or anything like that. I know everyone's saying that, because you look at how it happened when it happened and you look at the form of both teams, but rarely does it ever work out like that in football. I still think Amarim's a good manager or good coach. I don't think he's going to be naive enough to do that, but I do expect the win.
Yeah. 700 people in the house as well. Please do smash the likes. We said at the start, innit? We thought everyone got the New Year's resolutions. New Year's, new likes. Do you know what I mean? So because you lot are going to be nice people and smash the likes on the video, even if you're not in the live comments, even if you're just wondering, oh, this guy's chatting, whatever, I'm on my TV. There's a like button even on the TV. Don't be lazy now. Come on. What you saying, Jay? You're on mute.
All good. Yeah, all good. Just chilling.
We just talk about Man United, Liverpool at the moment. So I thought, you know what, Jay, let's get your monologue out of the way because we could talk a little bit about Spurs and Newcastle.
Lovely.
Come at the right time.
United have been all right in big games, as in like the setup, like suits them a little bit of like the emphasis on not having to attack. Like for example, when they played Arsenal, they were solid. They didn't create much. They had a couple of like nice ways of building out from the back, but the emphasis on when they're not having to attack is to me that sticks out. You know, a lot of these games when they're playing the Forests and stuff like that, they're maybe to an extent getting caught on transitions, getting caught trying to play out from the back, things like that. Whereas when you play a better team than you can
separate
drop back.
You two can't be near each other. There we go.
little low mid block. So I don't give United much chance because they haven't got a lot of goals in them. Do you know what I mean? As in, like they just haven't got a huge number of goals, which means that the margin of United having to defend well and defend set pieces well, which obviously isn't going very well for United at the moment either. It's difficult for me to think of anything other than a comfortable Liverpool win because the level of performance United would need to give at both ends of the pitch in order to get a result, I haven't seen from them over the last month or so. So it's possible United could do something because Amram, you know, he can set the team up well and stuff, but the execution, as well tactically. I mean, last game obviously he had was it an Ericsson Casemiro pivot?
Yeah.
That I've seen people go to. I've seen people go to The Hague. You know, I've seen people go to war crimes court for less than that. So, you know, it's one of those things that's either you don't know Newcastle and his tactical scouts have let him down, or he himself underestimates the difficulty of this league versus, you know, good, competent 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th place team. So learning curve for Amorim, and I don't know how patient United fans are learning on the job.
Yeah. Solomon said he'll give away 10 memberships if you don't get this to 350 likes, by the way.
Big up to Solomon, man.
Yeah, man. Big up Solomon.
How many likes is it on at the moment?
Not enough, but it's 164.
Come on, guys, man. It's free to like a video.
There, quickly.
Yeah, and he's already gifted someone as well. Imagine that. I'm just gonna call you Destroyer. 4-1 Liverpool. Amorim and Ineos out Qatar in.
That's crazy. That name is crazy.
Wait, you support Destroyer? You support United? I swear. What? I swear I saw a super chat from before you. I swear you're a Liverpool fan. Anyways, I might be wrong. Anyways, but let's move on. This is like the calmest Thursday panel I've ever had in months. In months. But yeah, hey, Newcastle and Spurs. Wait, who should we start with? Should we start with us lot or should we start with the Spurs lot? Because I know Jay's going to give a monologue. George is going to go on a tangent. And then, yeah.
I just want to say something quickly.
Why don't you in your place?
Why don't you give us something to rebuttal? Like let's see what you guys think.
Why don't we hear from a guy below us to see how it looks from above and what we think?
I mean, all right, cool. Right now,
you're still looking above us.
Cal is below you right now and on the panel. So go on, Cal, take it away. Come on now.
Spurs Newcastle.
Honestly, how do you see it?
I think it'll be an entertaining game.
As always is, yeah.
Spurs are such a weird. Andrew reminds me of Brendan Rodgers, and I don't mean that as a compliment either.
No, I hear it.
He's so stubborn and naive at the same time. It's unreal, and all he has to do is change and tweak a few things, but in his mind, he doesn't want to do it, which always makes you susceptible for conceding a bunch of goals. But on your day, you can be a handful as well. It's just that Newcastle seem to have just got their groove. And I keep on saying Tonali, he's the glue that holds that team together. I know everyone goes on about Bruno, but for me, Tonali's the guy in the midfield. They've had Bruno all this time. At the moment Tonali came back in, everything changed. They're a different team with him there. I don't think your midfield can deal with their midfield at the moment. And I think that's where the battle's going to be won and lost. And then Isak up top is
even Gordon against whatever right back they got going on.
Yeah, Isak is about as clinical as you get for a striker at the moment. So yeah, I don't fancy you to win this one, George. Sorry, bro.
No, I'll be honest. Like looking at this game, I definitely look at it being one of our toughest games at the moment. It comes at a time for us where squad-wise we aren't blessed. We're literally down to bare bones. You can only say that so much. Udogi's just been ruled out for 6 to 8 weeks. Could be even longer. It doesn't look like we've got any centre backs back at the moment. January transfer window's just opened up, and boy, I haven't seen any movement in the first 24 hours. So I'm already worried. Because things should be happening right now. I should be seeing things come out as Spurs are bidding for this, Spurs are this. Because let's be honest, we've got nothing. Yeah, looking at this game, it's going to be a tough one. What I will say, just to rebuttal your point regarding Ange's tweaks, he has made tweaks. People just need to watch the Wolves game last week to see that he tweaked the system. It wasn't such a high line. We got very defensive. We dropped it. It was more of a mid-block to low. It wasn't really a low block, but more of a mid-block. We conceded a lot of possession, and we tried to catch them in the transition and on the counter. But the problem was we don't have a good enough quality of players on the pitch at the time to build out from the back when you're playing with Archie and Dragusin. Dragusin in particular is huge press trigger, man. As you saw against Liverpool, you just get him on the ball. You have 2 players running at him. He's going to loft it wide. He's going to play it into your... He's going to lose the ball consistently. In the last game, that's exactly what happened to Wolves. Kept losing the ball. The play is breaking down on the right-hand side, and we can only rely on Kulusevski to give us something. So now, I look at this game against Newcastle. It's going to be a dangerous one. And Ange's going to have to rely on us scoring more goals than them, essentially, because we're not going to be able to stop the attack. I know that. Looking at the defenders we're going to be deploying, we're not going to be able to stop them from scoring. But if we can outscore them, we scored in the first game against them. Obviously, we had a much better team available. We didn't play with Van Ven that game, though. We had Dragusin and Romero at the back. And it was only 2-1, and we probably played better than them for that game, but they just caught us on 2 good counters and scored goals. So, like I said, it's going to be an interesting one, but I'm not confident for it. I'll be real. I'm definitely not confident.
No, Villa moved for Daniel Marlon. If anyone's interested, 25 million. They're pretty good selling for him. Villa.
He's all right.
I know. It's one of those signings that Villa.
I've
like,
never really rated him.
Monchi loves signing a player that was.
He can dribble though.
I do not rate Marlon at all.
No, he's not clinical, but his dribbling's and his ball carry is insane.
How you rate?
He's a player. I mean, I guess he's
big 25. We're doing this already, months.
Hey man, I got to start strong. You don't rate Marlon, but you rate Sobbers now.
Hold on.
Sorry. Slip out. Sorry, you know what, Lord? I said I'd be better at this.
Bro,
I'd be better at this year. So I'd stop all of this.
No, you don't.
You won't stop.
Try to help myself there. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'll just go back to being mute.
Bro.
I wanted to just on Jordan's point, I agree with a lot of what Jordan said about the game. I'm actually quietly confident. Well, not like confident, but I don't think we'll lose to Newcastle. I'm not sure we'll have enough to definitively beat them with our back line and their
They don't have Fabian Shaw, but they got Botman back.
Yeah, no. So the thing is that when we played Newcastle last couple of times, when we played them at home last season,
they smashed you, innit?
Last season at home, we smashed them actually. And and when we played them earlier this season, there's enough there for me to think, right, midfield versus midfield, we matched up well with them the last time we played. I hear what people are saying about the midfield, but the thing about Newcastle had over United was they had runners and they had energy in comparison to United, and we can match that in this game. We can have similar profiles up against them. I'm not sure whether or not the attack wise is clicking for Spurs at the moment. Like the press, the problem with Spurs is because we use a lot of energy in our press. When the energy is not there, the press isn't there, and then you play through our midfield quite easily. It's like and I think you can make the argument. Surely a good team should have other ways to play other than the fact, and that's why sometimes I'll be looking at Andrew saying, like Jordan said, he has shown adaptability, but whether or not he's shown enough adaptability for the long term to be like, this is our guy, that's my concern. But like, he gets the season for me, like no doubts, unless it gets really terrible, because I wouldn't want to bring a manager in for the sake of bringing a manager in right now. But we need to start getting more results, and obviously the home games are the home games. And we need it. Like, we've drawn Wolves at home, we drew Fulham at home, we're losing our away games. I actually think this is kind of falling into a must-win territory for us, because if we don't start winning our home games, we're not good away from home.
Do you know what? Even saying that though, we're not good away from home, but you do know that we've conceded the least amount of goals away from home.
Yeah,
I saw that and I was like,
yeah, we're losing to the difference goal. Like 2-1, you lose that goal. 3-2, you lose that goal. So we're losing to the 1 in 5, the 1 in 3. But again, how long can a supposed top 6 team make these excuses and pass the buck? For me, I'll do it as long as I can, because you know me, I'm a positive fan. But I think looking at it logically, we need to start picking up some wins.
I don't see where you do against Newcastle, man, in any of the areas at the moment. Do you know what I mean? I think maybe Kulusevski might be able to carry you somewhere, but that's just one player, right? Like, their midfield is just, I think they just bully your midfield, like, physically. I think you can get around them at times, but it's just like the end product's like, is it there? You know, he likes bringing off
bullying
Son.
on midfield physically though. Pap Sarr bully like he's
Joe Linton will like. Don't get me wrong. I don't think Papa Sarr's weak, but Joe Linton's just stronger. Let's just be real.
Pap Sarr bullies guys in midfield.
And you know what it is with me as well. It's not even sometimes about how physical you are. Bruno Guimaraes tonight like to get stuck in. Your players don't. Basuma might want to.
Basuma who loses his head and gets stuck in all the time. Like Basuma again, he's not a player that will get bullied. As much as I don't rate him, he won't get bullied on the pitch physically.
But
we don't have any players in our midfield.
I'm gonna lie. I see Basuma getting sent off in this game. And the thing is, it's like
I wouldn't be surprised.
Newcastle lot will get tackled, but I don't think their heads go into planet.
I think when Newcastle
they play on the edge, innit?
Yeah, like do you know what I mean? Where in Tottenham, you smash them a couple little like here and there.
When Newcastle will have a lot of their best play will be down the right hand side where we're going to be very weak potentially.
Who have you got left back? It's a doggy back.
It's either going to be
I've got to witness Porno and maybe Reguilon if he doesn't use Jed Spence.
Nah, Spence will play left back.
Yeah, Spencer.
Do you know what I mean? And even then, it's just like
Spencer play left back. Dragusin Gray.
I see Murphy just keep like obviously staying a little bit more wide, but then it's just like Gordon, Isak, especially against your two centre. It's always going to come back down to your back line, really. And then Fraser Forster in goal. You know who they call the fridge these days, right?
The one thing I would say, Kaz, is like Spurs have got a decent week of rest for a change going into this game. Like we've been playing more or less every 3 games.
Newcastle.
Yeah, but Newcastle are only playing. Well, they're only playing in. They're not playing in Europe. So with Spurs, we basically played every 3 days for the last 2-3 months. Yeah, so
even better for Newcastle then.
No, it's better for us because
we've had
should be rested.
But that hasn't shown on the pitch.
What I'm saying is fitness and energy isn't an issue for Newcastle. It's an issue for us. So it's a benefit to us to take this extra time. They'll be as fit as they are. We'll be fitter and more rested. So that to me is a big positive for Spurs. And I think you'll see good energy from the team at the weekend.
I think Spurs get battered, man. I think what it is, and I know if you know he's an Arsenal fan or whatever, but no, I think you look Newcastle, they're cooking at the right time now. And like Cal was saying, like Tonali in that midfield, you can see they're just ticking over now. Like he literally is. Like I thought Bruno was the main man because I forgot about Tonali, but watching him play the last couple of games, he's been phenomenal.
Just on that but they've made a tactical adjustment. So Tonali's playing the 6 now, whereas Bruno was playing the 6 before. So now you're noticing Tonali in the build-up, touching the ball more, etc., etc. So I'll give it Eddie Howe because the form has coincided with him managing the team, and it looked sticky for him early in the season. 8-9 games in, the fans were kind of being like, "Have we gone as far as we can go?" Things like that. So you are right. They've improved and they do look good.
And that front three, I think Gordon, Isak, and listen, no one's really giving Murphy the credit. Murphy's been in great form, and I think them type of front three is always
in his fantasy.
I think them type of people.
Yeah, I dashed him my fantasy still. Just for Spurs, I dashed him my fantasy.
What you got Murphy and FPL?
Dashed him in just for Spurs, man.
Why?
Just for Spurs, cheap option.
But you know what?
Spurs have Watkins.
Spurs have too many of them type of games. I said it before the season. I said Spurs have them games at home. Yeah, they'll create chances, but once they're letting that one goal, like I think when you played Wolves, shouldn't have drawn with Wolves at all. But you always think with Spurs, when's the goal coming? They're going to.
But the reason we've drawn with Wolves is because, like Jay mentioned, we didn't have the energy to continue.
Yeah, of course.
When we brought in our subs, they're the same substitutions that have been playing. We were literally using the same 13 players for the past 4 weeks. I've been playing 3 days. There's no rest. There's no recovery. So when we're coming in and going into these games, we've got a 2-1 lead. But we couldn't attack them. We couldn't break them down. We created a few chances, but the press wasn't there. We wasn't able to maintain the energy that we started off the game with. So you're seeing us fade off. In this game, I don't see that happening against Newcastle. I feel like we're going to have the energy there to keep up with them.
Well,
why we have the energy good?
Jordan, we might still need to kill this game after 70 minutes. Like, because if the game's still in, like, as in, like, we need to be maybe a couple of goals up on.
100%. That's just typical with Spurs this season. We only beat teams by 2 or 3 goals. We don't have close games.
Yeah, I just don't.
Why did you said that it might be different? Why do you think today's going to be different?
Like Jay mentioned, our players are rested up. They're going to have more time to prepare for this game in particular. We haven't had any of that time to prepare. in the last 6 weeks. Like, although after this game, we're still looking at
how long have you had? How long have you had?
This is the first time we've had a week break, and the players, I know Ange even mentioned in his post-match press conference, like he even let the players have a couple of days off because it's the first time in however long that they've even been able to have a break. I think the players come back re-energized and ready for this one. And we've seen in the big games this season that, especially when Spurs are counted out, we turn up. We know how to get a result. We know how to play in these games, especially when it's in the high transition. We know how Newcastle like to play. They're going to play on the transition. It's going to be a basketball game. It's going to be an entertaining one to watch. 12:30 kickoff. I see goals, and Tottenham are one of those teams that you can't. Even though our attack hasn't been clicking at the moment, you can't deny we're the second highest goal scorers in the league for a reason because we bag goals.
Yeah, but I just don't see. Even if you are fit, I just don't see where your quality shines in keeping out goals. That's the one from me. It's like you can have your
100%.
whoever you want up front, right? But it's just like I don't care if Archie Gray's fit. I don't care if Dragushin's fit. Porro, Jed Spence, obviously, and obviously Fraser Forster or Basuma. It's just like I just don't see how you keep outside. Like even if Spurs went 1-0 up, and then I get the message from Jules with the eyes in the chat, I'm like, yeah, I'll just wait a second. I don't ever do
that 1-0. I've done that like 3-0.
What was the one with Wolves? He was getting gassed though.
No, I didn't. I didn't message.
Was it you or was it Jay? Because it was messaging someone.
I've been watching Spurs for 20 years. You think I'm sending eyes anything other than 94 minutes? Never.
No, because I remember one of the Spurs in one of the group chats. Well, obviously, because he scored, I think we should like 2-1 up, yeah, or something. Yeah, maybe. And then I was just crashing on him afterwards. It's just like I remember saying, I sense a goal coming. Like I think Wolves.
The only time I've done it was Chelsea game 2-0 up.
Was that it? Maybe I don't know, man. Getting ahead of your toes. So what do you think these scores are going to be? I'm going 3-1 Newcastle, man.
Same 3-1 Newcastle.
I'm going 3-1 Spurs.
It could. You see the
Newcastle.
You see the Newcastle thing with Spurs, yeah. When's the last time you beat them?
Last year, I think.
Last season. In the last home game we played last season.
Did you have
4-1?
The last home game
until the 90th minute, and they scored like in the 90th minute. We clapped.
Yeah,
wait, the last home game, as in at the end of the season.
The last home game we played last season, we beat them 4-1.
We beat them 4-1.
At the end of the season.
No, it wasn't at the end of the season. It was like March. In February.
Did you have Van de Ven and Romero in that though?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. It wasn't. I don't think we had our whole defense for that game.
Pretty sure
the doggy was out 100%. He was out most for the end of the season for like 3 months.
Let me check.
I'm going 4-2 Newcastle. Boys, I'm going to shoot.
Yeah.
Happy New Year, all love and blessing.
New Year, man.
Months we'll talk offline. That's the Buzz I hate's got to be left in 2024, but we'll speak. All right, such a villain laugh, bro. Big up everyone. Smash the like button as well, people.
I'm trying to find the results.
My prediction, tough man. I don't even know which way to put it. So it may change in the preceding days upon hearing team news. But I'm gonna go 3-2 right now. I think it's gonna be high scoring, man. I think a lot of goals, very back and forth. I think we can win it.
Does anyone believe? Actually, no. Let me do this. Go on once.
I'm gonna go 2-1 Newcastle.
Spurs win this game. They rise when counted out. And then it says, what did Amram's midfield look like at Sporting? Well, it depends which one you want to choose. What will change United's fortunes are those two. The wing backs aren't going to do much for now when there's no structure. What midfielders you want to get Amram to get? I mean, there is. United play football like in the middle of the park, so let's not act like they don't put past together. But there's just never enough of an outlet.
I just saw we had no Van de Ven for the Newcastle game. Ben Davies played.
But Newcastle have had your number most of the times they played you, and they've outplayed you.
Who do I want to get?
Come on, man.
Every season it's one each. It's usually one.
So in the last 4 times you played them, you lost 4 times.
So
in the last 5 times you played them, you lost 4 times.
That's impossible.
That's not true.
In the last 5 times you played them, you lost 4 times. Lost 4 times. I'm looking at it right here.
Okay, but the last
you're looking at the season before that.
But the last time we played them at home, we beat them 4-1.
Yeah, you beat them 4-1. Yeah, you beat them 4-1. I'm saying. So I'm saying
cool.
no. I'm saying. I said most of the
last relevant data of Newcastle going away to Spurs Newcastle lost, right?
Yeah, of course. I'm just saying.
Okay, so
usually,
listen, I don't want to go too bad in the
recent,
past months.
so
I'm just, you know.
Jay, usually they've of recent times they've had the better of you more than they've.
No,
you've
but
had the better of them.
to just give you,
I'm not going off that alone. I'm not going off that alone, but I'm just saying that this is kind of in a way a little bit of your bogey team.
No, but
can be a little
two
bit of
seasons
bogey
ago,
there. A bit
that
of
was
snot
a
there. That's what I'm saying.
completely different Spurs side. It was a
Huh?
different manager and about 10 different Spurs players in the team. So I don't see that result as relevant.
Yeah, and this is a worse Spurs team now. The Spurs team we're seeing now is worse.
Our team is not worse than the Stellini.
2 seasons ago, no.
The Stellini managed Tottenham team when Conte had left at the end of this, and Newcastle slapped us. How is our team worse?
By the way, more relevant context. You know, Spurs beat Newcastle in that period where they were flying under Ange.
No, it wasn't.
No, it was. I'm looking at it right now. It's 10th of 10th of December before it all went bandy. Madison out.
They already lost against Chelsea and so on by then.
But and obviously, and if people want to use the context of like Europe and that, Newcastle were also in Europe at that point.
Okay,
and they had, and also they had mental injuries going on for them too.
Okay. Sounds familiar.
Yeah, I know. So at this rate now, Newcastle on better form, goal scoring, 1 game a week, got pretty much all their players but Bar Shah. You lot are missing players at this point in time again.
But listen, my point, like, I don't know how you can argue. Like, I understand Spurs are actually a better team, but you have lost 4 of your last 5 to them, innit? So it's not a team that you almost like to play. Yes, there's been changes to both teams, but the form guide also matters as well in terms that Newcastle are flying. You guys are not. As I said, it doesn't really bode well for you guys. But again, you guys tend to turn up at random times.
I can see Newcastle have beat you lot at your ground of recent as well.
Newcastle are a good team and they're in good form. But most of the Premier League is good. Like it's not like
come on,
bro, what do you mean, bro? If we were playing Bournemouth,
Newcastle got 3 away wins this season, man.
They're not even that great. Hard game. Like 80% of the Premier League season is hard games, so it doesn't really, you know, Isak's in form.
So you man both think you're winning, yeah? You man both think you're winning.
I think it's gonna be another game.
I think we'll win. I think we'll win. It's not like I think Newcastle are a good team, but they're not so good that I don't think we can beat them.
No, and it's not. Obviously, there's a possibility you can win. I just think the favors are in Newcastle. It's in Newcastle's favor at the moment. I think they're the favorite.
I'd say it's 50-50, personally.
I think slightly Newcastle. The current form, but I think with Spurs, you kind of know they can turn up at home, innit?
Listen,
don't get me wrong, Jay. If you had your full team,
United Newcastle
Jay,
hold on. Did you watch the United Newcastle game? Because if you watch the United Newcastle game, like. I think United sabotaged that game just as much as Newcastle won it. Yeah, the selection.
They didn't get out of gear 1.
No, because how United set up in that first half was poor.
Man United are rubbish.
Until Manu came in, they couldn't do nothing.
Manu came in, the game was pretty even. United had chances.
They didn't do nothing after that.
I'm not being funny. What Newcastle done to United, we done to United, and we done it better. The only reason they come back against us is because our goalkeeper.
And the only reason why you won that game in the end, I could say
United is not beating United is not the measuring stick to say if you're better than someone else.
That's my point. I'm not looking at the game, and I'm not gonna look at a Newcastle and be like, yeah, because they blitz Man United, they're gonna be able to do that.
No. Jay brought up Man United. I didn't bring up Man United.
Man United. Yeah, I'm saying I watched their performance against Man United, as in like it doesn't. If I look back at what Newcastle have done, they've had some really good games recently, but you have
Fraser Forster, you have Jagush, Gray, and obviously Fraser Forster. It's not. It don't matter which way you want to point it, yeah. In terms of prediction, obviously predictions are just predictions, but any way you want to point it, you still got those 3 as your callback line. Basically, that's the reality.
Yeah,
you be Jagush your full team. I wouldn't be saying this. I wouldn't be saying this either. If you had Romero, Van der Ven, and Vicario, I would not be saying this, bro. I wouldn't be leaning to the other side.
You guys, what we're saying here is that Spurs are capable of getting a result in this game. Yeah, simple as that. But everything you guys are saying, we already know. We know Newcastle are a good team. We know Newcastle are in good form. Yeah, but we still think
they're better than you. They're better than you.
Currently, sure. Why not?
Yeah,
currently, sure. Like, but if you took half of Newcastle's squad away, they obviously wouldn't be better than us. So we're going with what we've got at the moment. I'm banking on the fact we've got a week rest for the team to come out with a bit more energy and be ready to go. And I think we'll get a result. Like, if I think
We're actually the half of the squad, 3 starters.
Pardon?
3 starters.
Well, I said, so what does 3 starters have to do with half the squad? Is what you're saying different to what I said? Are we saying the same thing or not? Because I don't think we're saying the same thing.
Exactly. Listen, I'm just saying no, because I feel like the half the squad thing is a bit. I think
we are missing half our squad. We're missing more than 3 starters. We're missing. I've told you this before: Vicario, Van der Ven, Romero, Dogi, Bentancur. And Bentancur's on a suspension, so I'm not going to say he's on an injury, but he's suspended. But we're missing for that 5 first-team players already, and then you can count Odebert, who would start for us in this moment, 100%.
He get regular game, bro.
He's a more dynamic winger than anyone we've got, and Son's been playing terribly. He would be starting for us right now. So I'm looking at 6 players who would be playing.
So even the more reason why I don't think you'll win this game.
Nah, but
we've shown that we can do it previously. So
yes.
Yeah, but your players are more informed back then.
I'll be very surprised if Spurs win that, and that's not hating on Spurs. I just feel like Newcastle cooking the right time. But yeah, they are right. Listen, I feel if Spurs had their first 11, this game I'll be like, I think Spurs might nick it, because Spurs do have a good starting 11. But I think Newcastle, I look at Gordon, Murphy, Isak, and with who Tottenham have out, and I think George said about Jagason being a pressing marker. Bro, they're going to press this guy into oblivion, get the ball off him and nick a goal. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough one for Spurs. But listen, if they win and my team don't win, you're not
listen, Spurs have a few absentees, obviously not on the level of Spurs, obviously, because Spurs have had injuries all season. But as I said, I think we're not going to push the boat out. They're in better form. They're the better team. And I don't know why people think that we're being... I don't know. I think you don't just feel like we're being... a certain way just because you said.
You know it is. And also, if we talk about styles making fights as well, if he dares decide I want to play a high line against Isak, Murphy, and that, fuck it.
Bro, well, listen,
I'm not. How about this? I didn't even say they're gonna embarrass you. When usually, and Newcastle have embarrassed you, man, a couple of times. They're not gonna embarrass you. But,
the thing is, like, obviously, we're not saying Newcastle aren't capable of winning this game. We're not saying that Newcastle are not in form.
But they're more likely to win than you.
I'm just saying I believe the team. Like, you guys are neutral. I'm a fan of Tottenham. I think in 3 years of talking about Tottenham, I've never predicted a Spurs defeat. I'm never going to predict my team to lose. It's just the way it is. So I get what you guys are saying, and
it is hopium.
It's healthy context.
Hopium there.
Yeah, it's healthy context. Like, Newcastle, you can argue, are probably the favourites going into this game, but Spurs are still a good team that finished 5th.
Yeah, you might cut bad goals. That's what I said. That's why, like, I don't know. Even though 2 points separate you and Man United, I say the difference between Spurs and United is Spurs score goals. They score goals.
No, listen,
even when their team is missing and they got injuries, they score goals.
Yeah, no, listen.
That's what I said earlier. I think it will be a battle of who can score more goals in this game, and Tottenham have showed in a lot of games.
But I need you lot to separate yourselves from United. Though. I can't have you lot losing this game and United scumming a 1-0 win, and then all of a sudden they're 1 point ahead of you.
Oh, what, scumming a 1-0 win against you? Is that what you're worried about?
Well,
because that's who they're playing. I don't know. Wait, the way you're talking,
I actually
wait.
I actually forgot
did I just catch what's being shook there?
I forgot they were playing us. I forgot they were playing us. I meant next week. After you both lose.
I think we got him out.
George, after you both lose. I mean next week. Next week. I just can't have you lot too close to each other. You know what I'm saying? I just can't have you lot too close.
Hey now. It's only my
now.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Hold on. Next week, you've got Arsenal away, innit?
Oh, is it? Oh, you're on the 15th.
We've got Southampton at home.
No. Next week, we've got FA Cup.
I wouldn't even be surprised if you
you've been running this gimmick for 4 months.
Yeah.
For 4 months, you've been running this gimmick.
Who said it to me yesterday? But it doesn't mean it can't be right now.
No, but every time you say it,
you got Arsenal away, and I've got Southampton.
Well, you'll probably lose to Southampton.
I'm definitely not. You know what? I know Man United might be dusty, but Southampton are just in the absolute gutter.
Not really, bro.
I remember,
manager, bro.
I remember Kaz said that about Bournemouth as well.
Yeah,
bro.
but what, you say Bournemouth are good as...
He said that about Bournemouth. And then Bournemouth
Bournemouth's better than Southampton, then, yeah?
No, I'm not
Tyler
saying
Dibden
that.
sounds
You were
better.
hella
All right,
confident.
then.
No,
Every time you say something,
speculating teams.
every time you say something mad. No, but this is Southampton we're talking about, Old Trafford.
All
It's
right,
not
cool.
Oh, you've been saying that all
said
season.
this about
Bournemouth.
Ipswich.
10 times.
By everyone.
Yeah, because they done something last time when we played away.
You know what? I've clocked. Cass has the
Come on,
same
man.
script. He's just reading off a script.
Come on, man.
Cass is like AI. He's just, this team is rubbish. We're gonna beat them. Surely,
Just
we
make
can't
sure
lose another game.
if you don't beat
Surely we're going to
Newcastle. You got Newcastle, then Arsenal, bro. Allow it. Respectively, allow it. You shouldn't even be
And
focused
who
on
have you
these
got? Who you got this week? You got Liverpool, then
Yeah, I know.
Southampton.
I've already written
Nil
them.
what?
Yeah, but I guess what? We're in the same boat, bro. Like,
No,
we're
We've
in
got
the same
Arsenal
boat.
in 2 weeks.
We're in
We've
the
got
same
Arsenal
boat.
in 2 weeks.
Stop
this.
trying to, bro. You've already
That's the next
listen,
game.
this guy's trying to climb into our kayak.
Oh, yeah, and then
Walk
also, wait, you've got the extra fixture in it because you've got to play Liverpool away as well.
No, we got Liverpool at home.
Bro, you want to laugh in it now.
Liverpool at home.
Away, it don't matter.
No,
Don't
we're
matter.
playing
So
at
that's
home.
the extra hard fixture for you. And guess what?
I
Remember,
man
I'm
laughing
taking it
if you play
serious.
Liverpool away when he's got Liverpool
That's
away
awesome.
this weekend.
Yeah,
Right, bro. But what I'm
Nice.
trying to say is, Monche, the extra fixture. You know they talk about rest. You know they kept talking about rest. Now let's use that
Yeah, I
against
told
them
you we
now.
don't get rest,
So-
but we have the FA
you
Cup
don't get
game
rest,
next
bro.
weekend.
So wait, one sec. You got Newcastle, which could be tough. You're gonna play your best team. Then you got Liverpool. You need to win that game because obviously second
Yeah.
win second
And then we got
something in the
Tamworth.
second season. And then Tamworth, which is the extra game, which you can
So
go live on.
we can rest in that
Yeah,
game.
that's cute.
This
and
guy
everything.
wants to
But
talk
then-
about Tamworth,
but
but
then
it's
you
counting
got
Southampton as
but
a
then
win
you got-
already.
but then
This
you
guy
got
is
Arsenal.
shameless.
And you've got Arsenal, so you got extra
Right.
fixtures.
Okay,
So this is
but Kaz,
amazing.
Kaz,
This is
the one thing that
amazing.
Spurs, but Kaz, the one thing that Spurs are doing, even though Spurs stink at the moment, at least they're picking up some points at home. You're losing at home and you're
Aye.
losing away to
Bro,
everybody.
Man said, at least I'm picking up some points.
You
at
are
home.
picking up points,
you
bro.
drew to Wolves, great, yeah.
Bro, you lost to Wolves. You lost to
At
Wolves.
their gaff,
Oh, you
yeah.
still lost to
At
Wolves.
their gaff,
You've lost
at
twice
their
this
gaff.
season.
At
I
their
have
gaff.
very little chest for anyone this season. But Man
At
United, having
their
beaten them twice
gaff.
and dropped
At
3
their
on their
gaff.
heads up.
I guess,
Now, you guys, not you guys.
We're in the
Not
same
you
position,
guys.
regardless of what you're trying to do. It's basically the shit on the same shoe, bro. Like, bro, at the end of the day,
No,
you're
you
11th.
can't
I'm
say
14th,
that, bro.
and the 2 points separates us. Yeah,
Bro,
I can
you
say that.
can't say that, bro.
Do you
Like,
remember once? You remember? It was
wait,
that
wait,
long-
Wait. I just peeked it.
Cass.
Cass, wait, how shameless are you? You're talking about us playing Liverpool and Arsenal. You've got Arsenal in your next game after
In the
Liverpool.
cup,
What is even going
the
on
cup,
here?
in
You're
the cup,
playing them in the FA
in the
Cup.
cup.
You're
Yeah, but one
so
less game.
shameless.
In the
You're
cup
so
and one less
shameless,
game.
man.
In the cup and one
Oh,
less
what? So
game.
you've counted out the FA Cup. You've
Aye,
counted
bro,
out
I'm
the
not,
FA Cup. You've already
at this
smacked
at
them
this
aside.
rate, I don't. To be fair, like unlike you lot, where you probably think that you're gonna go and beat Arsenal at their gaff and whatever because it's a derby. Where I just I count that game away. Like it's like I'll see what happens. Last time out, there was evidence enough that United were in that game on 2 set pieces. But at the same time, I don't expect.
But you've
to do-
accepted
I
you're
don't
going to
expect
lose
it.
your next 2 games, and so your manager's going to be in 7 out of
Misery
8
loves company,
games.
Jordan. Misery
7
loves
losses
company.
out of 8.
But guess what will happen? You're gonna probably be out there at Carabao anyways. You might go through the next round of FA Cup, but either way, we're just as shit pretty much as one another. You're just
Your
a bit more.
manager's going to have
You're
one of
just
the
a bit
worst.
less shit 'cause you got a bit more of an attack.
I see Frank de Boer get sacked for less than this, Kaz.
But the difference is that guy was-
Crystal
that
Palace
guy
have more
was-
standards. Yeah, I wish
Yeah.
D was hit.
That
I
was
can
a
let you
shit
know
show.
that.
You think
There
Roy
was-
Hodgson could get away with this run of form? Absolutely not.
We're still as shit as one another. We're still winning the same matches. I'm not even if how shit United are. We're definitely doing more in Europa League than you lot are. That's a
Here
fact.
we go. Here
That's
we
a
go.
fact. We're above
Here
you
we
in
go.
the Europa League. Respect me, please. Thank you very much.
We'll
Please
see,
try
we'll
to
see,
qualify.
man. We'll see. Make sure you get top 8.
Anyways.
Come on, we're embarrassing ourselves. They say 2 homeless people are fighting in the street, guys. Come on.
But the difference is, at the start of the season, even though I conceded we was garbage, like at the start,
No, you
pretty
didn't.
much. At the start, after losing
After
to
5 games. After 5 games.
Yeah, after 5 games. The difference is, Jay was talking about apartment keys and shit like that. And
I
look where
was,
he is now.
listen.
where he is now.
Me and Jay are so far apart in the. You see, like the tenancy. We're so far away from each other. I'm in a skyscraper. and he's on the bottom floor. I promise you.
Tenancy lasts for a year, gentlemen. So there's still plenty of time for us to reclaim our rightful apartment spot. So don't worry about it right now. Appreciate we're a little bit behind.
I heard the bailiff spot on
We're a little bit behind on rent, but don't worry about it.
I heard the bailiffs are on. You know when you come, you know when you see that piece of paper stuck to your door. That's what JC. That's what JC is right now.
Hey, listen, I might have been might have a little bit too much chest earlier in the season. A hint, I might have been going to the gym regularly, and I just thought maybe, just maybe. So obviously, I'm just not the same guy I was 3 months ago, guys. So I just need you to just not forget about it. But let's move on. Like we all live in apartments. We all live in different size apartments.
Jay, you literally live in Bethnal Green right now. That's
okay. Well, that was a necessary task.
Do you know what Bethnal Green is?
Yeah, it's London, no?
Yeah, near Lewisham, yeah. Kind of.
Are you trying to say that I don't live in Central anymore?
It's just disgusting, bro. It's just.
I think maybe I could have a nice new apartment.
Maybe Tower Hamlets or something in that borough.
I'm not living in Central no more. But it's one of those. Listen, guys. It's too. I thought we covered Spurs.
Yeah. Like 40 minutes on Spurs again. What's going on?
It's the game of the weekend, surely. But to be fair, Chelsea go away to. I'll keep smashing the likes, people. By the way, we're not even on 300 likes. Bunch of flipping
350 man. 10 memberships.
Bosses, mate. But Chelsea away to Palace. Could it be 3 in a row?
Palace win.
Real talk.
I think Palace will win that one. I think again they're just warming up, and I think Chelsea. You know what? I don't know about you, but I was getting so annoyed when they kept saying we're not in the title race now, and now they've lost them games. It's just easy for them to back out now. And go, we said we weren't in it. They were in one. They were. End of story. Like they were there.
Do you think there's a mental thing with the we're not in the title race, and then it made them kind of not. I don't want to, because obviously they're professionals, but do you think that the narrative that the fan base and the manager was pushing quite heavily has now affected their performances, or is it just down to tactical players? Because obviously Chelsea have a decent squad on paper, but I feel like every time we have to see this squad rotated properly, then the replacements don't do it. Like I saw them against Newcastle. You can argue they were unlucky to go out of the cup, but they went out. Against the weekend, Nkunku started, Felix started. I was only watching the game in and out, but I just remember seeing like you take out some of the key players or some of the regular starters, and all of a sudden you're losing games. So I don't know. Comment section as well. Like, what's the reason that Chelsea have started dropping points?
It's 100%. I feel like it's been a mixture of that. I feel like you can look at Maresca and say that. I think in the 2 games prior to the last one, he only made 1 substitution in the game. He wasn't really trying to make any tactical adjustments, and he just left the team out there to try and figure it out, and it didn't work. And then, like you said, I feel like we only seen them use their depth properly in that one game against Newcastle prior to this, and then in the Conference League where they're playing these rubbish teams, so they're blitzing them, and it's allowing these players to look a lot better than they are. When we're seeing them in the Premier League, and Nkunku's not looked good. Like we have to just call a spade now. He's been a horror. It's been a shit signing. He's not been good enough for them. He scored a few decent goals here and there, but he was supposed to come in, light up their attack. But because of all the change of managers, he doesn't fit in their system no more. João Felix looked all right in the game. But for me, I definitely look at the manager and say a lot of this has been on him. Maresca's been trying to do different things that just haven't been working. And like you said, he allowed the team to take the pressure off and say this isn't a title race. I think it's fair to say in his first season, he wasn't brought in to have a title race. So he just wanted to manage the expectations, knowing it's a young squad. But Chelsea were never going to be in the title race. I always said, similar to when Liverpool went on the game of dropping points, the team's going to blow out at one point. And when you're playing in this period, the Christmas period out of all, where you're going 3 days, I think this was just that period where Chelsea were always going to drop points. In this game, I don't think they're going to lose to Crystal Palace. I've been surprised that has not been sacked. I've not been impressed with Crystal Palace this season. But they picked up a point against Chelsea last time at home. But I don't know, man. I think it might be one of those games where Chelsea probably he was back. He's back last game. I think they're going to share the points. I just don't see Chelsea losing in this one. They're probably going to need to pick up a point as well, just put themselves in a comfortable position. And they've had that rest now as well.
Yeah, just 2 things. I think you said about the 3 days rest, but Chelsea, when they're playing Europe, rotate the whole team. So like, you know, like with all our teams, I hear it when we change players. Like I hear it, bro. When I play FC Noah, I'm seeing Mark Gui, all these unknown names I've never heard of. So they have no excuse in terms of being a bit. I hate what you said about Christmas period, but our teams, we're always having to play.
Yeah, 100%.
You know I mean, them guys have no excuse, but I do feel like they really miss when Lavia don't play. I think someone said in the comments, Fofana and Lavia kind of take them up a level in terms of you know being a better 11. I don't think the goalkeeper's that good, and he's being stubborn. You know what I mean?
Disasi's rubbish. Badia Shields, I think he's crap as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And like for Sanchez, I
feel Badia Shields regressed a lot since his injury.
Yes.
I think before his injury, I rated him quite highly. I thought he looked good, and I think that obviously with Colwell having the left-sided centre back spot, Badia Shields is either playing.
You rated disaster.
Never rated Dizazi. I've always thought
you meant Badiashile.
Yeah, Badiashile. I liked him before he got injured. But now he's either playing with the second team or he's playing right centre back, slightly out of position. So I don't think he's been good. But I think the Lavia point is good. I think the issue for Lavia is that he's not able to play huge amounts of football. And I wonder whether or not is that going to be an ongoing thing or are they just trying to manage him? Because it's this season. I'll be interested because obviously with Europe next season, Chelsea are very likely to probably be in Champions League or Europa at worst. So they're going to be playing twice a week and they're going to need their best players. And it'll be interesting to see. But, you know, there's narratives that you can make all over the place because, you know, depending on what your agenda is, you can start saying, oh, well, Leicester, Maresca got found out and he started to, you know, when teams started to look at them. I think one thing is once teams start respecting you, the narrative of how you play changes. I think, you know, when teams go to play Chelsea with a low or mid block now, it's different questions you've got to answer, different questions for the squad, different questions for the manager. But I think they're still a good team. And I still think that they're still probably the best of the rest. Outside of, you know, Liverpool and Arsenal so far, they're probably the best of the rest. And it's a competitive league, so everyone's taking points off everyone. So if they just did what they've done this first half of the season against second half, they'll be comfortable in Champions League, I think. So, but they need to start winning, you know, like, because once it gets to 4 or 5 games, I mean, Palace are in decent form as well, right? They've turned the corner a little bit.
I don't know, man. You know what it is for me and this whole Chelsea is I expect Chelsea to win this, to be fair. And I think in the end, Cole Palmer will get his goals. It's no matter what you told me about Palace, their box defending is insanely crap. Their box defending is one of the worst in the league as goes. Let's put it like that. They can't defend in the box. I don't think they got Chalobah for this game either.
Lacroix really good. I like him.
But he's not enough though. It's not enough. Like Gay. I don't know how. Yeah,
he's out at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know if he's out or whatever, but I saw him in was it Jamie? Someone's team. I don't team of the season. I think it was Sherwood or something. I'm thinking like, are you dumb? Like what? Really. He's been put like Gay's not been that good this season. He looks uncomfortable a little bit, shall I say? I mean, LaCroix, like whatever his name is, LaCroix, whatever, however he says it. I mean, he's all right. And then Chalobah, you don't know what you're gonna get out of him. And then whoever it's Richards, don't even get starts these days. I just see this game like in the end, it's like Chelsea will make a cutback or something, and someone's gonna be there. Like that's at the end of it. I expect Jackson to get on the score sheet again. I expect Palmer. I just expect Palmer to go off this game personally from the way it is. I expect Palace to put a lot of pressure on them, but there's a tight. But at one point, Palace drop off. They can't do it all game. It's impossible. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, no, I think the Palace are going to get back. I definitely think Palace are going to pick up something. I don't think Chelsea are that good right now, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I think Chelsea cannot afford another upset. I think they have to, whether it's scummy, they have to get over the line. And clunky, unclinky.
That's not bad at all.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know in it like him, yeah. And the worst thing is, I'm pretty sure George or Jay, you was with me when I called it out.
I said he'd be sold next summer, and Chelsea fans came for me.
Yeah,
I said in the summer, he's going to sell and come next summer, and they were like, no way,
There's a clip on Never a Foul. There's a clip on Never a Foul.
Yeah.
Of these lot. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Caleb. Let's not go that far. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like Chelsea's squad outside their 11 It's still talent there, but told you guys, just not as good as what the world makes it out to be, but still a good squad. They're overachieving, so I'm not going to pile up too much pressure on them, but they have to win. Like I think there's no excuse to play Ipswich, Fulham, Everton, and then now who they're playing, Crystal Palace. If they pick up 1 point from those 4 games, there's nothing you can say to anyone if you're only picking up 1 point out of 12 against those 4.
The thing is as well, I think early in the season they dropped points against a lot of these teams. They've struggled in these games and they've had runs of these smaller games. Like they've had this problem. It's just they had a good run of form for about 10, 12 games where they was strong.
What's going on? What's going on? I haven't watched enough Palmer in the last month or so to know what's going. Like, so can someone? Is there still underlying performances good?
Palmer's been really good. I look at these past couple of games and say that I feel like because of the additions of Felix and Kunku, he's not been the number one option in the game. They've been trying to bypass him, and they've been trying to find other players to try and make something happen. I think Nkunku's been trying to take the shine away. And Felix has naturally, because you have these players who don't get chances all the time, they're coming on the pitch and they're trying to make something happen. But for Palmer, if you see even in the Fulham game, that goal he scored was crazy, bro. The way he just glided through that midfield.
He's like, because obviously, you know, and I don't want to liken it to United and Bruno, but you know, sometimes when you become a little bit like reliant on a specific player and everything starts going through them and things like that, that's the mechanism for the team. Now, obviously, Chelsea have a lot of top players and a lot of good players on paper, and like you say, they all want to facilitate the win and things like that. I remember when we were saying earlier that the freedom that Palmer had from a Poch system, you know, he maybe doesn't get it as much in a Maresca system. I don't think there's any.
I think Maresca's issue for me is more selection than anything. Yeah. And I would say Jackson's is just been underlying poor.
Yeah.
For a striker recently. Don't know what the hell is David.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think
right back for me, disaster at right back ruins the whole flow of even just build up. And then you got to look at the wingers. The wingers ain't supplying enough or doing enough.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't think this is a Palmer issue, but I think that, you know, when you look to your talisman in these moments, like as in it's a tricky one for Chelsea at the moment. I just think maybe you just need to go back to basics a little bit. You know, just like, you know, Jackson, Palmer, that combo is obviously quite key. Lavia needs to be fit. Manager needs to settle on the wingers because I feel like Madueke looks the best for Chelsea.
No, Pedro now.
I thought Madueke was more effective.
Now the thing is, Madueke is the same issues all the time. It's just inconsistencies. His decision making, like
making so bad.
Me and was watching against. Who's the recent game against? It was Ipswich. In the first 5-10 minutes, it's like he taking too long. There's a cutback. I think Enzo's on the edge of the box and stuff like that. It's just allow it. Neto, you don't know what you're gonna get out of him more time at this point. I mean, his first few games get fitness back and everything started cooking a little bit, and it's the same thing with Sancho. Like Sancho plays and it's just not hitting that form again, and then don't even dare say Mudryk.
So I feel like they need to play with Neto and Sancho. They need to just consistently try that pattern together. And you've got two players that are different on either side of the wing and that can run at their man confidently. And plus, I feel like Sancho combines well, especially on that left-hand side. So the problem has been Madueke.
This is really interesting because this is why I'm just saying, Jordan, because the thing is like this is how I know that fans sometimes watch teams and players in their own vacuum, because he is one of the best right wingers in the season. Like whether you rate him or not, you have to go from a comparative analysis. Like it's not, he doesn't exist in a vacuum. Like, do you know what I mean?
So if you want to say no, he's one of the best leagues, then one of the best
bring me. League this yeah, honestly, because I think once you go away from the Salahs and stuff like that, then it's just it's a much of a muchness, bro.
You can't look at his goals and
honestly,
stuff
it's
like
much
that
of a muchness.
And come to that.
I don't know what his output is.
Yeah, his output's been decent because he had 1 or 2 games where he scored like 4 goals and then 2 or 3.
Now I'm an output guy. Madueke's got a lot better. Mate, there's a lot of right wing. There's a lot of teams in the Premier League Madueke would start for. Like a lot of teams.
I would change.
I know Chelsea fans are laughing in the comments. Hold on. Chelsea fans are laughing in the comments, but they spent 50 million on Neto, who has considerably less output than Madueke. Is the right wing market truly?
I agree with some people in the comments as well. I would honestly maybe look at putting Cole Palmer on the right hand side, and then maybe if you want to facilitate, because I don't, you know what it is? I see a lot of João Felix hate. I see a lot of João Felix, and I look at Felix. Like I said, he was not the problem. He was one of the better players. Like I think he can change up the 3 a little bit. I think, and at least with Palmer out wide, his vision of like what he needs to do is, don't get me wrong, you lack a little bit more in the middle, but out wide, I know his playmaking. His playmaking is insane.
You don't like more in the middle. When you put Palmer in the 10, you're gonna get your glimpses of quality because he's that good. But at the end of the day, you can mark him out the game. When you play in the 10 in the Premier League, in the Premier League, ultimately you can't. I'm not saying you can be marked out the game because you're not good enough, but a team could base their game around kind of stopping you. When Palmer is out on the right, like that's the Palmer for me that is inevitable. Like unstoppable, bro. There's not this whole, trying to get Madueke in the team, trying to fit Neto on the right. I think that's what stopped Chelsea from being, for me, like extra consistent. I look at that Palmer on the right, João Felix in the 10,
or even in Nkunku, in the 10 though. Like
fuck Nkunku, bro. Fuck Nkunku, bro. Just fuck Nkunku. Forget Nkunku. Put the jacket in the bag. Put the fries in the bag and forget about Nkunku. João Felix in the 10, Cole Palmer on the right, Sancho on the left, or Neto on the left, wherever they want to go. Or maybe you can put Clunky on the left, and make him have to work for something. But that is the 3 that I think Chelsea should be going for. Sancho and Neto can switch, because right now Enzo and Caicedo are being let down by the attackers in these last 3 games. They've been let down. Do you know how many chances Enzo created last game? Yeah, genuinely, bro. Enzo has been playing out of his skin, That's why no one's been talking. That's why you haven't heard his name. That's why you haven't heard his name. You haven't heard about him.
Isn't that the squad building though?
Wait.
What'd you say?
There might be a reason why he's been playing out of his skin.
Bro, I feel like
I know.
I don't know.
Playboy Enzo. Enzo. Man is single, blood.
But once I think you're falling victim to this mentality of the lesser player plays in certain positions, the more they're rated. Yeah. I get what you're saying, but there's no way I'm like Palmer is a highly. I think he played half right wing last season and half in the 10 kind of thing. So look
where most of his goals came from. It's not about where he played on paper.
I'm not doubting that Palmer's a highly effective, high quality right winger. I'm saying from a squad building point of view, if you buy Neto and Sancho simultaneously, you're essentially saying, I see you as a 10. Do you see what I mean? So you from a squad building point of view, you maybe
he doesn't see him as a 10. He would have played him there.
But then why are you buying 2 wingers why are you buying 2 wingers on top of all the wingers you've already got?
Because he doesn't see him as a 10. He has to. He doesn't. How about this? There isn't a position in the squad where he can get enough minutes to suffice. Like he said it himself. That we're seeing it because when Jackson doesn't play, who plays up top?
Nkunku.
Exactly. So and when you're looking at where the rest are playing, obviously we know Sancho can play 10, but managers for some reason have opted against that wherever he's kind of gone apart from his days at Dortmund.
Can he play 10?
So you're telling me you think Nkunku can play 10 over someone like Sancho?
I'm not the one who said their squad was amazing.
We've seen more successful games with Sancho in the 10 than Nkunku.
I don't know if I see Sancho as a 10. I don't know if I see.
But you see Nkunku as a 10.
I'm not. No, not really.
Nkunku is a second. He's a second striker, bro. He's a second.
That's what I mean. But that's what you can liken it to. Like it depends. Because the thing is, Maresca plays with more of a. I don't know if I see it as more of a playmaker at times. I see Palmer drop deep or whatever, or he wants the 10 more near closer to the striker because the midfield goes quite high up anyways.
Bro, Nkunku is slowly turning into one of those Leipzig signings that looks like a Naby Keita or looks like a Timo Werner, and people don't want to admit it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
The Premier League is not made for
similar
everyone.
positions.
The
So
Premier
when
League is
people
not
get
made
gassed
for
over
everyone.
people like Xavi Simmons and whatnot, this is why I don't get gassed.
Bro, the Premier League is not made for everyone. And for me, if Cole Palmer in the 10 is still getting his numbers, but isn't breaking, he's not destroying teams. Why the hell would Nkunku be the answer? Put Felix there. When Felix has played, he's looked 10 times better. 10 times better.
Yeah, I mean, why not play Felix as the 10 then?
That's what I said. I said
Palmer
on the right.
Felix is the backup 10, really.
But that's what I said.
That's what we all thought as well.
I said Felix on the right. I said, sorry, Palmer on the right, Felix in the 10, and Sancho on the left, or Neto on the left. They can switch.
Yeah, but okay. But I don't think Felix is particularly a better 10 than Madueke is right winger. So you're gonna have a similar issue regardless.
Oh, what?
I do not think João Felix is a better 10 than Madueke is right winger in the Premier League. I don't think Felix has done anything.
Madueke plays like once in 8 games, bro.
Bro, what has Felix done? Felix hasn't done anything.
Felix don't get a chance.
When Felix has played, he's been fine. He's been fine.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
man, couldn't name me a Felix stinker. You couldn't name me a Felix stinker.
I'm merely saying Felix in the 10, Noni right wing. I don't think there's a huge difference between the two. I don't
Madueke gets game time, bro. I feel like they've had a similar season, and Madueke actually gets game time. He gets game time. Give Felix for me the game time that Madueke gets in his position. It's literally just because Cole Palmer's the main man in the 10.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And you know me, I'm Mandem FC. You know me, I'm Mandem FC. But we're not gonna do that. I'm sorry.
Bro, this is what we do with these players and teams. The more you don't play, the more highly rated you are. Yeah, the more your prestige.
You don't play, and I think he's rubbish.
No, but listen. We'll see. Obviously, the manager doesn't want to move Palmer to right wing to play Felix. You guys might think, okay, João Felix is a great number 10. I don't think he's really
a good number 10. He's a good
number 10, and Nani's a good right winger. So
no, he's not. He's an inconsistent right winger.
He's all right. Nani's all right. He's all right.
He's an all right
bro. He's all right. Man is still living off that Wolves game.
I'm sorry.
Man is still living off that Wolves game. It's all right.
Hey, it's one more hat-trick than Felix is managed.
His final third decision making.
Remember, Madueke used to play for Tottenham in his youth days, so that's why he's defending.
That's nothing to do. That's just a happy coincidence.
Yeah,
I don't know why people are referencing it. This has nothing to do with what I'm saying.
I'm a Carter Vickers hype thing. I hear it, bro.
Oh,
but no,
he's doing well at Celtic, by the way. Nothing to do with the fact he used to play for Spurs.
Listen, man. All I'm saying is that give my boy Felix some time. Personally, as I said, like the Nkunku train isn't looking like it's going anywhere soon. Again, Nkunku ability-wise still has bags of ability, but there's no spot in this Chelsea team for him. There just isn't. He just needs to move and find a team that can use his type of position as a player. His position doesn't exist. And where he can play, there are players that are just doing better than him. He got his chance against Ipswich. And listen, Chelsea fans in the comments, how did you feel about his performance against Ipswich? Let me know.
Listen to these terrorists on a Thursday. These guys,
No. Nkunku's the terrorist. Conference League. Conference League. That's what he is about. In Conference League.
Anyways, no, wrap up there, man. I need to go out. Where is this? Here it is, because it's all changed now. Make sure you can subscribe to everybody. I don't know why that headline's showing, but there you go. You can go subscribe to everyone, their respective channels.
Me and Jay gonna be a boardroom.
We should do another live at like 10 tonight or something, man. 10:30. You're not going nowhere, are you? No, you're not. Yeah, you know, all the missed times, like when you come like half an hour late, it should add up for an extra stream. Do you know what I mean? It should add up half an hour, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. All right, that means we're streaming tonight then. We're gonna stream later tonight, people. Make sure you subscribe to Durag Diaries and Bottom Podcast, Big Six Bants as well. And obviously, Coppish was here earlier, so don't forget that name. So yeah, in a bit, this is gonna go to Famzone TV. Go raid them. They're doing their ball talk stuff, probably talking shit. So let's see what they have to say. Raid it.